Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. And here is something interesting that I have learned. If you're struggling with weight, if you're overweight, if you're obese, you have a very complicated relationship with food, then it might be a good time to ask yourself, why is it that you're doing what you do? I do understand that a lot of us do not have access to good food, which can be expensive. We don't have access to maybe a training facility, to a trainer, to a coach or a mentor. I understand that, all right? But having said that, there are so many people around the world, including my own clients, including myself, that we have access to knowledge, we have access to the right food, we have access to the training facility, and yet we end up self-sabotaging our own progress and resorting to the same behaviors that get us into trouble. So, people who struggle with weight, like if you're yo-yoing between weights, if you've been struggling with it for a long time, if your relationship with food is not healthy, then trust me, I can't stress it enough. You really need to re-examine why is it that you resort to food. Because food is one of the most easily accessible and socially acceptable forms of coping mechanisms. Also, when something happens that we struggle to make sense of, that we don't want to deal with, that it threatens our sanity, we need something to soothe us. Especially if we don't have the right support, if we don't have the right, let us say, avenues to deal with, we need something to soothe us, to help us, let us say, stay sane. And food at that moment can actually help us make sense of things, can actually help us not lose our mind. So it has its own importance. There is a reason why food is so prevalent as a coping mechanism. There is a reason why so many people around the world struggle with food. And it's not just such labels that are put on them: greedy, lazy, lethargic, no willpower, lack of discipline. That's just ridiculous. Already people deal with shame of not being able to eat right. They suffer from perfectionism. Either they have to eat right all the time or they go into junk. A lot of self-loathing, a lack of self-acceptance, hatred for the weight, hatred for their failures. So let's not put judgment on top of it. And as a personal trainer, as a yoga practitioner, as an athlete who has worked exclusively with overweight and obese women in the Middle East for more than a decade, trust me, almost every single one of my clients knew what she had to eat, what she shouldn't be eating, how much to exercise, what to do, what not to do. And they will make spectacular progress till something will just push them over the edge. Something will trigger them, and often they will lay waste years of progress. Years of progress. And then getting back on track can be extremely difficult. So the question is everybody weak? Does everybody lack willpower? That's not the case. The thing is, even people, some of my clients who have had, let us say, they've taken help of cosmetic procedures like Botox or something similar, I have seen very similar behaviors with them. They lost the weight, they have access to, in fact, one of my clients told me there is the right food prepared, kept. Food what she chose, food as asked by her, prepared and ready to be eaten. She chose not to eat it and rather went ahead and ordered junk. That is, after she lost weight, she has a gym in her house, she has access to training, she has access to a coach. Yet So, it is not a matter of willpower, and neither are you lazy, neither do you lack motivation. Rather, perhaps another way to look at it, maybe you're overwhelmed, maybe you have excessive anxiety, maybe something happened to you where you were alone, afraid, and food became your solace. That's probably the right way to look at it. If you want to progress, if you want to help yourself, because labeling, name calling, bullying people, humiliating them, disrespecting them for something that they struggle with is just absolutely abhorrent. And this is coming from somebody who's been a trainer, an athlete, and I've been a yoga practitioner, and I also have a very disordered way of eating. I have a very unhealthy relationship with food. I'm still recovering from bad eating habits. I have overtrained, I've injured myself, and let us say the list just continues. So almost every single mistake as far as diet and nutrition and health is concerned, I've made it. And only when I started looking at my behavior patterns and my underlying motivations to resort to that was when I actually made lasting progress. And personally, I've noticed once you start looking at your real reasons for eating, for not exercising, for exercising too much, for dieting too much, it gets easier. Because then when you understand, you're able to see yourself with compassion. You start to develop empathy for yourself. And with understanding comes the freedom, comes compassion. So, I hope you found it interesting, and even more so if you're struggling with weight, if you're struggling with an unhealthy relationship with food, please note that you're not alone. There are lots and lots of people who struggle with it, and that you don't need to be perfect to lose weight, to succeed, to get healthy, to have a good pain-free life. And thank you for watching.